Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
I'm unbeatable. Couple minutes not a score. Every time they wanna clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stock, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
It's Double Bubble on the British Basketball League YouTube channel this Sunday. Later, Plymouth host Leicester. That's at 6 o'clock. But before that, the Newcastle Eagles travel to the Sheffield Sharks. The Yorkshiremen have won the last 2 games against the Eagles, a 30-point thrashing in October and by 10 points last weekend in Newcastle. In terms of playoff seeding, this is a vital mid-table matchup. So calling this one is Dan Routledge and former Leicester rider and Plymouth Raider Ant Rowe.
Thank you very much, Jeanette. Yes, a really important game as far as the playoff seedings are concerned. It's the Sheffield Sharks against the Newcastle Eagles, and Sheffield doing the chasing of Newcastle at the minute. Maybe a little bit extra pressure on them, but both these teams need this win.
Well, as the longer the season goes on, the less games there are, and the top 4 finishes are absolutely imperative. If you want advantage in pole position going into the playoffs, you want to get in those top 4 spots.
Well, let's have a look at the starting 5s for today's game, starting with the Sheffield Sharks. And Atiba Lyons has run with this lineup for the last 8 games. He's very comfortable with what they are bringing them right now as they try and move up the seedings. At the other end of floor, Newcastle Eagles, again a familiar looking starting 5. The 3-headed monster in the backcourt doing the damage as many expected they would at the start of the season. Well, a couple of guys you wanted to highlight in this game tonight, and Malik Green's coming to Sheffield and looked like he's been here all season.
Yeah, the 6'7" forward from Cincinnati has had a massive impact since joining the Sharks just 8 games ago. You see a stat line there, 15 points, 8 rebounds a game. This is his first year as a pro, but he plays like a superstar. He started this season in Luxembourg where he averaged 30 points, 10.5 rebounds a game, and Sharks want more of those monster numbers.
At the other end of the floor, Ricky McGill has been sensational all season, but particularly away from home. Great numbers.
Yeah, he's the exciting shooting guard from Spring Valley, New York. He was the European North Basketball League MVP, and he's been putting up MVP caliber numbers in the British Basketball League. You see his averages there, and he's been most impressive on the road, and the Sharks will want that trend not to continue today.
Well, he certainly will be a key factor. Atiba Lyons knows his team needs a win if they are to chase down the Newcastle Eagles, and Mark Stutel. It promises to be a fantastic game, and we will have tip-off right after this break. Well, historically, when these two teams meet, there's not much between them. Oxdoodle and Atiba Lions wishing each other well before the game. All time in Sheffield, the Sharks have won 34, the Eagles have won 32. As I say, it's normally a coin toss, but for Sheffield, they're trying to catch Newcastle up in the standings. If they win today, it'll just be one game between them, and they will have the head-to-head Sheffield, which will be the tiebreaker. Josh Bowe, Ed Udansky, and Tahir Carr are three officials for today. They are out and ready to go. And so are the two teams as Cook and Green get set to jump it up here. Ball is up and Cook just about wins the tip at the second attempt, and Sheffield will get the opening offense of the game. Right, the Rock down on the low block. Trying to go to work on McGill, off the mark, and Green with the rebound.
Well, it'll be an interesting matchup there. Aitor Rock going right at Ricky McGill. Aitor Rock's a good 3 or 4 inches bigger than him, looking to try and use that advantage size down on the low block. Unsuccessful on that time. I wonder how much they'll go to him in this game.
Well, we have seen since his return to injury, him show a little bit more in the low post than we saw early on. Green loses the ball. Aitor Rock comes away with it. First few weeks of the season, Aitor Rock very much a three-point shooter, wasn't he? But we've seen more range to his game in recent weeks.
He's got versatility as well, because he's about 6'7", but he's built. He's got that strong structure, so he can have that inside-outside game.
Green, we've seen a lot of that in his time in Sheffield, but neither team able to score in the opening minute. Green firing up the three off the mark. Down low now to Cook. He gets Taj Green to bite on a little pump fake, but can't make the easy score.
And those are the types of baskets that Sharks need converted. Sharks, have visually been a team that have really struggled in the offensive end at times this year, averaging just under 80 points per game. Only Plymouth is worse than them. Where the Sharks have the advantage of defensively, they're the only team that's been able to hold teams to under 80 points per game. But Bennett Cook, one of those ones you'd want to finish.
Well, Taj Green will want that one back as well. He unable to convert. He was fouled.
Yeah, those are those ones down where you feel the contact as a big guy, and it's an easy and one, but Taj Green just wasn't able to finish the play.
We're not at Hillsborough or Bramall Lane, but it's still 0-0.
Well, it's not an unusual thing. We've when you're talking about the Sheffield Sharks, we see these low-scoring games, and you can't help but think that a low-scoring game, as this one has started, benefits the Sheffield Sharks. But I'm sure they won't stay this low scoring for long.
Well, Newcastle on the board, but we're still searching the first score from open play. Ramsey trying to get Sheffield into their offense. Looking inside, Cook has done his work early against Defoe, and he's able to profit from it.
Yeah, that's a better move there from Bennett Cook. You see him establish that deep position, and Darius Defoe guarding him. Good defense, but Darius Defoe at 6'7", going against Bennett Cook, who's 6'11". There's a significant size difference there as well.
Well, here's Defoe giving a little back there. You're doing exactly the same thing.
So smart, so experienced. Wasn't able to stop Bennett Cook on the other end, but what he was able to do is get those points back quickly by getting deep position.
Ramsey into the key. Doesn't quite get the bounce. There was some push in the back there by Taj Green on Bennett Cook going for the rebound, and spotted by referee Udansky, so it'll be a Sheffield ball on the end. Of course, these two teams met only last week, so fresh in the mind that result. The other two games were way back at the start of the season. Feels like two different teams since then. Cook spinning. Eventually gets it up, can't convert, but Green is there to clean it up.
And that's what Malik Green brings you. Yes, he brings you his talents offensively in his 17 points per game, but he's a guy that can get double-digit rebounds because of his size and athleticism.
Taj Green for 3 knocks it down.
Oh, Taj Green, second three-pointer of today's shot. He's converted that one, so he's someone who's looked very aggressive and active in this game so far.
Rock all the way to the rim, beautiful.
Ito Rock, just so talented. And
but I tell you what, Newcastle do really well, even on made scores, with a point guard like Jordan Johnson. Head down, get to the rim. Speaking of getting to the rim, you see he's beaten McGill, and Defoe can't get there quick enough to prevent it.
a really good first step there from RJ Ito Rock, who has been such a positive addition to this Sharks roster this year. And you can't help but think as well how much more impactful could he have been had he not had an interrupted season with injury.
Well, Jordan Johnson knows his way to the free throw line better than anyone else. He's closing on 200 free throw attempts this season. He's pretty good when he gets there, and those both goes in. He's 82.5% from the free throw line this year.
Well, you mentioned it, Dan. He's just got the ability to see things before anyone else, and whether it's a make or miss, the ball is inbounded and Jordan Johnson is out to the races. He's so difficult to stop.
Traveling violation goes against Bennett Cook.
Good on-ball defense then from Darius Defoe. See that hand, what that does is it just bobbles enough for Cook to lose control and take some additional steps there. Good play from Darius Defoe.
We had a quick glance at the referee to say, what's that for? Oh, good call, ref, good call. Nice pass, here's Defoe underneath again. Gets his own rebound, second attempt is good.
Just too deep there, really difficult to stop. On the first initial shot there, he textbook should have been that left-hand shot, but stayed with it, was strong enough to power that through to finish.
Michael Rock again trying to use his strength to muscle his way to the basket, but it's poked away from him. Austin has it now. Johnson sets himself for three. Jordan Johnson jigs his way down the court after the triple.
Wow, and that's why they lead the league in fast break points per game. You see that as soon as the turnover is created, they're out to the race. Good spacing as well, with Jordan Johnson stepping into that three.
7 points in a row for the Newcastle Eagles. Shot clock getting low here. Michael Rock has to work here. Good hands from McGill. 0.1, I think it is, on the clock. Well, there's going to be a timeout here. Sheffield going to talk it over while they draw up a play. And obviously 7 points in a row against them, and not an easy position for a Atiba Lions squad to execute from here.
And that could be the issue sometimes when you're trying to exploit a mismatch, and it doesn't happen naturally, it doesn't happen organically. You force the issue at times, and you see that the Sharks offense has dried up since then, and even to the point now where they've tried to get RJ out of Rock in the low block, and it's resulted in a turnover, which then led to this three ball from Jordan Johnson stepping into that one, and the Eagles bench there already look like they're having fun.
Well, they're coming off a game on Friday night where everybody was in the flow. You put up the sort of number they did against Surrey, everybody feels good about themselves, and that can transition into today's game as well.
Oh, for sure, and especially where you're coming into the point of the season now, where, remember, Newcastle Eagles have had so many more fixtures with the European Northern Basketball League in there as well. So, you know, this now they can focus on the playoff push.
Well, Ant and I will be back at 6 o'clock for our second game of the day. Plymouth City Patriots against the Leicester Riders. You can watch it on YouTube, of course, or TikTok or Twitch. If you're on the move, take your phone with you. Keep on top of all of the action. Newcastle Eagles with the hot hand here in the last minute or so. Sheffield need a quick shot away here. They need to get it in first. It's thrown straight to McGill. McGill has Austin out in front. Austin using the rim well to lay it home.
Absolutely devastating. Turnover again results in a basket on the other end of the floor in a matter of seconds.
In the ball game, Kemba.
Cook getting in close but can't convert. Green with the rebound. Newcastle with 7 points from turnovers already in this game. They've hit 9 without reply, looking to make that double figures here. Defoe, trademark shot from the free throw line, and Mark Stuttel applauding that. And why not? His team with a double figure lead already.
Yeah, really nice execution of that one. After the screen, doesn't roll all the way to the basket. He stops in that mid-range section where he's able to shoot the ball.
Well, Cook trying to force that in and then committing a foul on the rebound. And his little frustration and frustrating position for the Sheffield Sharks. They trail by 12 here. Timeout call. We'll have a break as well. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Sheffield, where Atiba Lyons and his squad have some work to do here after a slow start to this ball game. Just 6 points to show for almost the first 6 minutes. Newcastle in command. Green, Ramsey's on the floor, and Green all the way to the rim. Somehow that comes back out. Chance for them to run here. Pipkins quickly lays it in.
Wow, just like that, 4-point swing. It's a play that Green should finish, but Pipkins makes them pay on the other end of the floor.
Ooh, Green drops it in, and the problem is it took Sheffield about 2-3 minutes to get that score, and it took Newcastle about 5-6 seconds to reply back.
Wow, way to redeem your mistake. You don't make a layup, might as well just jump up in and pop it in and dunk it down.
Nice drive to the basket from Nichols.
They're going to need his experience out here now. 4th year in the British Basketball League, Kipper Nichols. So it's a player that come off the bench and starts producing.
Well, McGill absolutely wide open, uncharacteristically missing everything there.
Good defense from Jordan Johnson there to prevent Ramsey from getting a line drive to the rim in the transition.
Well, Delpesh gets to the rim instead. I thought for a second that was going to come off, but he's able to lay it in, and a good little response coming out of that timeout from Sheffield.
Yeah, and it's been their bench unit that's been able to come in and start injecting some offense. Delpesh, as we saw there, with a left-hand finish, and before that, Kipper Nichols. So, no, good, positive response here from Sharks. Let's see now if they can build on this.
Wow, it's amazing how much freer the scoring feels when you get a few in transition like that. Those cheap points, so important to keep the scoreboard ticking.
Oh, they're huge, Dan. It's a good pass inside there for Delpesh. And may, of course, see the Delpesh brothers go at it today.
Well, these two teams, as we say, in a battle for playoff positions. If Sheffield were to win this game, they would move within 1 game of the Newcastle Eagles, and they would have won the head-to-head. If Newcastle win, they'll stretch the gap. They probably won't win the head-to-head unless they somehow manage to blow Sheffield out. Sheffield on the points difference are plus 33 here, and if it's 2-2 in head-to-head meetings, it goes to points difference in the games between them since then. So Sheffield will probably win the head-to-head either way, but if Newcastle win, the gap in games will be more important than the head-to-head, because it means Sheffield have a lot of work to do to catch Newcastle up to finish level.
Dan, Newcastle's on pace for a 32-point win
here.
They are. Just one shot away from your statistics there.
But they, as I say, they probably won't finish level if they win. That's the thing, so it might not matter. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. Here's Ricky McGill off the mark. His numbers have been really noticeable this season in how much better he plays away from home than at home as Ramsey converts. He's about 5 points a game higher on the road and 10 percentage points in field goal shooting, Ricky McGill, away from home than at Virtue Motors Arena. It's the 3rd biggest differential in the league.
Well, you can take a step further there as well. Let's go further away from home, off British soil.
EMBL, he was the regular season MVP.
Start sending him to different continents, Dan, see what happens.
Well, there is Defoe protesting that didn't come off him, but referee Akko had a different view. Let's see what we can see here. Looked like it came off Defoe's knee to me, but he's saying it was Skipper Nichols.
It's worth a try, isn't it?
Worth a try. It's like, I've been in this league 20 years, I ought to get those calls. Here's Pipkins off the mark for the jump shot.
Not a great offense there from Sharks. Pipkins almost turns it over and then takes it ill-advised, fast 3-point shot.
Not a tremendous one the other way either. Well, you have it, we have it, you have it. Right there, let's wipe those ones out. Stepped on the line, Kipper Nichols.
This is uncharacteristic so far, the Sharks. Look, it's really early in this game, but they've got 4 turnovers in the first quarter. The Sheffield Sharks average the least amount of turnovers in the league this year. They've always done a really good job of not beating themselves. So, Sharks going to have to do a better job here of getting back to the mean, numbers of the mean here and getting those turnovers down.
These are actually number 1 and number 2 in turnovers this season. These two. Oh, we've got a bit of the Delpesh derby going on now, both Marcus and Malcolm into the game. We haven't seen much of them both this year. Both had the issues to get through, but a chance for them to go head-to-head.
Ramsey, the floater.
Ramsey off the mark. Tipped out of bounds, and Ramsey will let that go because it's the Sheffield ball.
It's just such a fantastic battle to be able to go up against your brother, your twin brother at that as well. And not only do you have a chance to win a basketball game, but also bragging rights.
That's probably more important, though. That's probably more important. Here's Delpesh there. He wanted the poster. That's the ultimate poster.
And Whitfield is off. And
Pipkins with the rebound.
Pipkins just skies, doesn't he, when he grabs that rebound.
Pipkins all the way and scooping it up. Well, here's the look. It's a bit of Delpesh on Delpesh crime here. You can see, look, get out of the way. I don't want any cameras to see me underneath.
And it's Marcus Delpesh, just to clarify, who has the first notch on the belt today with that monstrous jam. It's really quite interesting as well, tracing these two journey, throughout the years they've been in the British Basketball League. They played as well in Germany, but the two twins have been going at it for years in the British Basketball League. Played on the same roster in Bristol.
Yeah.
And it was Marcus Delpesh who was the more prominent, more dominant big, wasn't it? And last year, Malcolm just had a phenomenal year and he's playing more than his brother at times.
Nice spin baseline, Larry Austin, beautiful finish.
Wow, Larry Austin, just a guy who plays bigger than he actually is. He's about 6'2", but when you look at his rebounding numbers and his ability to score on the block, you'd think he was 6'8".
Tough finish there from Pipkins to finish that one.
Well, he has that next level athleticism where he can jump and then decide what to do.
Yeah.
That time he catches the ball, he jumps, and you can just see him just adapting to what his athleticism giving him there.
Good help from Ramsey. Out comes Nixon, lobs up the alley-oop, oh, but it is tipped in the end by Pipkins.
Well, Pipkins' energy has been excellent since stepping on the floor, and here he is cleaning up the miss from Delpesh.
The shot clock is switched off, so Newcastle looking to tick this one down to the buzzer. Austin driving in, offensive foul is the call. And that will give Sheffield the ball back, and the Sharks, who trailed by as many as 12 in this quarter, have 3.5 seconds to try and take the lead.
Excellent defense there from Nixon. We know that Larry Austin Jr. wants to get to the rim. Nixon got there early, kept his feet still. Good job.
Nixon fires up the three, and that is off the mark, but a great second half of the first quarter by the Sheffield Sharks. They've come from 12 down to tie it up at 22. We'll have the second quarter right after this. Welcome back to the Cannon Medical Arena here in Sheffield, when the story has been about the bench unit for the Sheffield Sharks. Sensational in that first quarter.
Yeah, a little bit of a shrewd coaching there from Atiba Lions. It's not always, you don't always want to start your firepower in the starting five, and it's been that injection from Pipkins, Delpesh, Nixon off the bench.
Larry Austin able to force that home. Still all of the points for the Newcastle Eagles from their starting five. Here's Rodney Glasgow Jr., former Newcastle Eagle himself. They've seen that shot down the years, the Eagles fans.
They have indeed, and there goes another 2 bench points for the Sheffield Sharks.
Delpesh is fouled by Nichols, so that will be 2 free throws from Malcolm Delpesh. Just coming off that screen, stepping into a little bit of space and finding the bottom of the net.
That's a confident looking shot, isn't it, from Glasgow Jr., who's coming back from a season-ending injury. He looked like a guy to me who's took a lot of shots in this arena. measuring up that one and letting it go.
Well, Malcolm is the better of the two Delpesh brothers from the free throw line this season. He goes 1 for 2 there. Here's Pipkins. Rearranges off the glass.
He has been excellent so far this game.
10 points already for Jalen Pipkins. Delpesh with the rebound off the missed 3. Pipkins on the floor again. Oh, great block by Delpesh. Comes out though, Glasgow gets his hands on it, but it ends up with Ward Hibbett. Whitfield misses the shot, gets his own rebound though, and he blows the layup as well.
Oh, Whitfield has to do better there. Squeezed his drive right in between the two Sharks defenders. Wasn't able to finish with the left hand.
Nixon off the mark.
Johnson. Larry has it. Back to Johnson.
Deep 3 from Johnson. Delpesh blocking out Delpesh and tipping it down to Glasgow. Nixon driving in. That's going to be an offensive foul. Delpesh hitting the deck and Nixon knocking him down. Well, you are allowed to be moving if you're going in the same direction as the offensive player. And that was the decision there. Nixon getting it explained to him. Not sure he was convinced by that explanation there, judging by his facial expression.
This is good to see, though, the interaction between player and referee, talking it through, and Nixon asking the question, of course, but he's doing it in a manner.
That's not going to help his irony, is it? Here, have another one. And he wanders off to the bench there with 2 fouls in quick succession. Pipkins certainly giving them some explosion off the bench. You look at that. The 2 leading scorers thus far for Sheffield, both starting the game on the bench.
Johnson.
Second attempt, he gets it to go there, Whitfield. That's the first field goal that anybody off the bench for Newcastle has made.
Good persistence there from Whitfield.
Glasgow Junior for 3 off the mark. Johnson keeps it in play. Austin, offensive foul. Well, we saw Delpesh take a charge at one end, and we saw the same at the other as Marcus gets his body in the way to be run over by Larry Austin Jr.
Well, it might be something on the scout there, because that's the second time that the Sharks defense has really took away that left-hand drive from Larry Austin Jr. You know it's something he wants to do, and you see Delpesh beating him to the spot and getting him to run into him again.
Ramsey. Eichelroth.
Down low to Cook. Cook battling with Delpesh, trying to move him out of the way, and eventually a foul is called on Delpesh, and Cook will go to the line.
I think Delpesh needed to reach there. Good initial resistance from him, and you see his arms down. He's got a lot of ball, but he's also got arm and hand in there as well, but Delpesh did a really good initial job. I think he needed a foul there.
McGill comes back. Darius comes back.
First one off the mark for Bennett Cook. Scores level at 27. 3 minutes into the second quarter here in Sheffield. An important game in a battle for playoff seeding. And Sheffield edging in front.
The game is all tied up 27 apiece.
A little slip there. Whitfield's able to keep possession. He spins out of it. Well, that he not dribble it the first time, but maybe not. Here's Nichols with the rebound.
I thought he did. I thought there'd be more protest there from the Sharks bench, but there wasn't.
Maybe it was knocked away from him. Around to Glasgow.
Nice change of direction.
Out to Ramsey for three. Green with the rebound.
Relatively good ball movement there. Penetration kick from Sharks, but Ramsey stepping into that three, wasn't able to convert.
Green's long miss comes out to McGill. Well, we gave McGill the big build-up. He's not scored yet in this contest. Shot clock getting low. McGill gets it away for three, and right on cue, Ricky McGill with the triple.
Wow, what do you know, Dan Routledge?
I know he hadn't scored before that shot.
Pops up just like that. And what I would say as well about Ricky McGill is his maturity this year has been phenomenal in that he averages 6 assists per game. So if he's not scoring the ball, he does have a tendency to step back and facilitate. And that occasion, big shot from him to open his account.
Three assists already. There was foul called off the ball. Whitfield was wrapping up Cook as he was trying to get position. And Whitfield pinged for it by the official. Green returns as
back on the floor. Malik Green.
Nichols sits down. Two Greens going against each other. Mind you, pretty much every game you've got two Greens going against each other this year in the British Basketball League.
If you're not signing a green, you're not following the rules.
Idle Rock almost loses it, drops it into Cook. Can't finish. And Defoe wins the battle of the boards there.
Goodness me, Bennett Cook has had a handful of those now.
Nice drive. Jordan Johnson with a little shimmy shake to get to the rim. Through the foul, he'll shoot a bonus.
Re-emphasize how good he is at this. You see that little hesitation, change of speed, and then just like that, ejects right to the rim. And it's all off the back of a missed layup from Sharks. It's Newcastle Eagles' ability to just push that basketball in quick succession.
Converts the three-point play, and suddenly Newcastle back out to 6.
Back out to a 6-point game.
Ramsey. Ratino is a little high. Well, we were level at 27, but now the Sharks find themselves 6 behind. Inside to Cook, and a big slap down from Defoe. Didn't want to give him anything easy there. And that will be 2 free throws from Bennett Cook once he's sorted himself out. 4:53 on the clock here in Sheffield, and it's a 6-point Newcastle lead. Timeout is called. We'll be right back after this. The game. Bennett Cook trying to bring that to an end from the free throw line.
We'll see if that gets him going as well. It's been a pretty difficult day so far for Bennett Cook. 1 for 6 from the floor. Missed some shots inside that he typically makes. You see a strap in there on his right knee. He makes both of those free throws, and let's see if that translates into more production for him in the open floor.
Well, I think there's an issue with the clock that the referee has spotted and just gone to the table to check. The other thing about Cook is before those free throws was minus 17 on the plus minus, which in a 4-point game is pretty well, impressive, but not in a good way.
No, and of course he'll be part of that starting 5 unit too, which started the game so slowly and really struggled to compete against this Newcastle Eagles team.
Here's the foul up top. Oh, great block from Rotino.
Wow, it looked like Rotino was beat. And then he comes up out of nowhere and swipes that shot away. Wow.
Green. Nice pass, cross court to Ramsey. His 3 is off the mark, but Green gets the offensive rebound. He can't force it home. He'll try again and again, and eventually he gets his points.
Wow, the persistence of Malik Green. Would not give up. It was a great initial pass out of the post to Ramsey, who again misses another shot in the corner. But it's Green. Not once, not twice, but 3rd time lucky.
Oh, McGill's shot rimmed out. They got a little lost there in the pick and roll coverage, but here's Cook at the other end, and he will get an easy one to go this time.
That's a great feed there from Ramsey. Get his big man involved. Nice catch and finish there from Cook.
McGill, little hesitation. Will that count? Yes, it will. Basket is good for Ricky McGill, and he'll go to the line for an extra free throw.
Yeah, it seemed like a big continuation, but he did pick up his dribble. You see this? Lovely drag back dribble, and then picks up his dribble, swipe down. Nice play from Ricky McGill.
McGill on the line for the and one.
5 points and 3 assists so far for McGill. Make that 6. Newcastle's lead is 3 as we approach halftime here at the Cannon Medical Arena. Green down on the low block. Thought about going. Might do now. Time is running out. He's trying to find some room. Taj Green doing a good job. Make that difficult, but Malik Green even better to finish.
That is so difficult. I felt like his team put him on a small island there. Well, not a lot to do. But he created something out of nothing. Tough finish.
McGill. That's going to be a foul against Ricky McGill. Well, you see that Green down in the low block, not much time to work for. I'm not sure that Taj Green could do much more defensively than that.
No, sometimes it's just better offense, isn't it? And a guy like Malik Green as well, he was at Luxembourg beginning of this year. He averaged 30 points per game, so he's someone that can score in a number of different ways, and he's had to shoulder that responsibility previously, and he's done it for the Sharks on a number of occasions. Bad foul previously for Newcastle Eagles, puts them in the bonus. So,
Jordan Johnson hobbled his way off the court, and that is not a good sign if you're a Newcastle Eagles fan.
No, they don't really have a natural point guard as well. Ricky McGill will shoulder that role now, but I wouldn't say that's his preferred position.
Well, Austin could also fill in at that spot as well, but you're right. The most natural of them all would be Johnson. We'll see how significant that is. There's McGill. Out to Green. Taj against Malik in the battle of the greens. It's short from Taj Green. Malik Green, long stepping his way to the rim.
That's exactly it, Dan. You see, as soon as he crosses over there.
Stolen away by Ramsey. Eitel Rock knocks down the triple. 5 quick points for the Sheffield Sharks. And a timeout has to be called by Mark Stutl and the Newcastle Eagles. And that's just 2 really good plays in a row.
Wow, the Eagles tried to take a little gamble there and getting those points quickly. But what that did is it opened the door for Sharks to snag that ball. This is a play before. Great crossover from Green. And as you say, Dan, as soon as he gets onto his left hand, that step gathers so much space. And RJ out of rock. Perfect position in there in that transition. Having the confidence too to knock it down.
And Sheffield, who trail by as many as 12 in the early stages of this game, have their biggest lead of the contest, 42 points to 36, and some work for Mark Stutl and his team to do. These 2 cities met yesterday in the Women's British Basketball League. Close game up at the Virtue Motors. Sheffield winning by a couple on that one, and those teams, and of course these teams, all trying to get themselves to the O2 in London, where we will have the playoff final, men's and women's, 19th of May down at the O2. Tickets available now. Make sure you are there for the crescendo of the British Basketball League season. It was a big crowd up in Newcastle last night for Sheffield against Newcastle. Eagles against the Hatters, of course. And Hatters keen from behind to win by a bucket. Tiber Lyons is hoping his team can win. He'd rather it be by more than a bucket. They've certainly come from behind already.
That was the first 3-pointer the Sharks have made so far as well down in this game. And what a confident knockdown it was from RJ out of rock.
Well, it's not been a 3-point shooting contest today, has it?
No, it's not.
4 for 22, I think they are combined.
Goodness me.
There we go, I got the maths right, that's always good. Here's Eitel Rock. Back out to Ramsey. Ramsey, oh, great block from Taj Green. It's come off Malik Green and will go out of bounds for a Newcastle ball.
Rim protector, Taj Green. Wow, that's a basket-saving block there, and you can see the face of Ramsey there in the background. He knows that would have been a 2 had Taj Green not spoiled the party there on his trip to the rim.
Neighbor. McGill along the baseline, and well, I think Cook was assuming somebody was going to help him out there, but nobody stopped McGill.
No, you need help on Ricky McGill as well. You see him dribble baseline and then create enough space for himself and shoot the ball.
Cook squares up to Neighbor, takes it right to his chest, but he's still having struggles from close range, Bennett Cook.
Ward Hibbett.
Ward Hibbett, step away for 3 off the mark. Cook will keep that in play.
Here come the Sharks.
Shot clock is on, but they could run it down here.
Sharks will hold probably.
And that's
for
what
the
Ramsey
final
will
shot
do.
of the half. Ramsey, nice.
Ramsey through the low. That's going to be an unsportsmanlike. He doesn't let him go, and it's a pretty easy call. The referees just checked with each other. He's just grabbed him. You can't do that.
Not anymore, Dan.
No.
Not anymore.
Well, I think they're trying to argue I was stopping him from falling over, but he wasn't doing that. It was a grab to make sure he didn't go up. In modern basketball, there's only one outcome for that, and it was an unsportsmanlike foul, which is 2 and possession. Which is not the way you want to end, because they're going to tick it down. There was a 3-second differential between shot and game clock. Maybe you get one back, but worst case scenario, you know, you keep the scores the same as they are and you go to the locker room. Here you get 2 free throws, so the lead goes to 6. You let Atiba draw up a play.
Yep.
Maybe it could go to 8 or 9 here out of this timeout.
Yeah, and it stops you, of course, having the last possession of the half, which I think is more important, because I think the way Ramsey was positioned as well, he had a really high possibility of getting an and one there. I think that's why Will Neighbour overreacted like he did. So it most likely would have been a 3-point play anyway for Ramsey. But as you say, Danny, gets the 2 free throws, which have been converted, and now it's a opportunity for Atiba Lyons to 8 seconds is a good amount of time as well.
Yeah, you can do a lot in 8 seconds.
We see you on the south stand. We need those arms up and down. Let's go. Yes, that's that. We see you. Come on, let's give it a back.
Sounded like a post up for Malik Green coming up. A screen being set at the top of the key. Green starting at the bottom of the key, coming around, curling back down to the low post on the near side, and say go to work. I mean, he's already proven what he can do down on that low block.
Yeah, he's one of those players. He's versatile and he's got a nice touch in and around the rim. The Sharks gonna have to set a good down screen here. It's typically going to be a little man. I was going to say a guard. Yep. Ramsey gone down.
There he is. Well, they went the other way. He was open there, Green, but it's come back to Ramsey. He's going to take the 3, and that does not go, and that will do it for a first half that started so well for the Newcastle Eagles. Atiba Lyons and his Sheffield Sharks trailed by as many as 12, but midway through that first quarter, they flipped this one on its head, got the momentum. The bench unit led by Pipkins really doing a great job for the Sheffield Sharks, got them in the lead, and they will go into the locker rooms with a 6-point advantage here in Sheffield. Amro and myself will break it all down right after this break. Welcome back to our coverage of the British Basketball League here in Ant. It was a slow start for the Sharks, but once they got going, they've looked good in this game.
They have, yeah, and it's been a really good response from them, led by their bench. You know, the bench was able to come in and inject energy. Pipkins in particular was excellent just to instill their confidence in this game.
Let's have a look at the numbers in the first half. Both teams shooting poorly from the three-point line, so therefore it's can you make enough twos? It's the volume of twos that Sheffield have taken and made.
Shooting poorly is a very articulate way to not downgrade the situation down, because 1 for 8, that's all the Sharks have shot the three-point line. But credit to them, they've found ways to get points in the paint by way of crashing the offensive glass and putbacks. Pipkin has attacked the paint as well, so really good job from Sharks in that area. Newcastle Eagles shooting way too many three-pointers, not enough guys in rhythm here so far today.
Well, let's take a look back at the action from the first half here in Sheffield, and it started so well for the Newcastle Eagles. They looked like they brought that Friday night rhythm down the motorway with them today.
Yeah, and they were sharing the basketball, and you think Taj Green as well, he started the game off so aggressive and so proactive in his scoring, and this was the area. It's make or miss. They were pushing the basketball, and you thought, uh-oh, Sharks are in big trouble here because this is the best fast-breaking team in the league. And Jalen Pipkins, he was the spark. He was the guy that I think steadied the ship and instilled confidence in everyone else.
Well, he had 10 points in 9 minutes in the first half, Jalen Pipkins, but really it was all the bench unit coming in. Delpesh gave them a little something at both ends of the floor as well. Nearly posted his brother as well.
Yeah, he enjoyed that one, and as you say, Dan, I think Delpesh brought the energy. Nixon was good for them as well. He was able to bring some, and Larry Austin Jr. just playing larger than he is. And that finish there on the baseline.
And we talk about Sheffield's bench unit. Newcastle gets almost nothing from their bench unit. They're combined 1 for 10, the bench unit, shooting just 3 points. They need something else to help this starting five out.
Oh, for sure. You know, as the game goes on, they're going to have other individuals step up and produce more. And this is a great pass inside from Ramsey, who they've really tried to go through Bennett Cook, who's had a really difficult game so far. I question his health because he's missed a lot of shots inside. And this was the shot. Big one there from RJ Idlerock to hit the first three-pointer of today for the Sharks. Boy, that was a big one.
Yeah, it gave them a little bit of momentum going into the locker room at halftime, but can they build on that in the second half? We'll find out shortly. First of all, we've got some highlights for you from yesterday's game, Cheshire against Bristol, and first, Friday night's game up in Newcastle.
McGill, nice pass out to Taj Green, who flushes it home.
Great pass, great finish.
McGill just about got there before it going out of bounds. Green, extra pass. Austin gets it to go and count it.
Great offense there. A bit of a mismatch there with Green.
Ball into McGill. Catch and shoot and splashes it. Steele, corner three ball, knocks it down. Steele again to the basket. Josh Steele, 5-0 run all by himself. Lawrence looking to drive left. Lawrence takes the bump and count it. Green again for three. Drains it. Taj Green, a pair of threes so far in this game. Ball inside, nice pass to Jameson, who finishes with the right hand. Ball into Green. Oh, jammed in, Taj Green.
Great finish.
Jammed in by Taj Green. He's good in at the other end. Got a mismatch in there somewhere as Josh Steele goes backdoor for two. Here's McGill, screen from Defoe. Shot clock down to 6. McGill fires up for 3. He knocks it down. Lawrence fakes the 3 into Okasiemi. Nice pass into Paddy at Wang. Johnson, deep 3, good if it goes. Oh, he drains it as the third quarter expires. Ball into Jameson. Nice extra pass to Teo. Floats it up and in. Wang fakes the pass, looking inside for Jameson, and it's stolen by Austin. Austin looking to push. Finds Defoe at the short corner. He knocks it down once again. Stolen again by Ward Hibbert. Newcastle Eagles once again out in transition. The three-pointer is good. It's showtime now in Newcastle. Whitfield for three. And Newcastle Eagles have just put 125 points on the Surrey Scorchers. It is a huge win in the end for them.
Very impressive game for Newcastle. They're very complete. Coach Tudor has to be really happy with that, bouncing back from a loss.
Well, watch out here, Mike. Aaron Rye saying, I can hear you. Don't talk about my game like that. Leslie Smith goes down the other end, gets the friendly roll.
Right. The Flyers 0 for 5 from 3 here.
Oh, David O! Flying up, throwing it down. Leslie Smith, wow, as the shot clock winded down.
Tough shot there.
Behind the back, going all the way, foul, and one. What a play from Cam Preston. Oh, but that is what you want to see coming out of a timeout. A steal, and in transition, Jacob, kaboom. Maceo Jack, though, trailing the play. One playoff spot remains, and Bristol Flyers currently leaving the door open to Manchester. Oh, what a block!
Huge defensive effort here from Aaron Wright.
Oh, Leslie Smith again. What is going on?
Oh, Leslie Smith.
Nice hands, Leslie Smith. Intercepting now, Leslie Smith to the left hand. He's having the ball game of his life right now. Oh, wow, Tevin Ollison throwing it up from way downtown. Doesn't quite run Aaron Rye off that screen, but does find Brad Green on the roll.
Wow, beautiful pass there.
In the hands of Skylar White. Aaron Rye ripped through behind the back. Beautiful move and a bucket and one. John Jacob switches off there. And Maceo Jack attacks the rack.
Damn, he's fired up.
Rideau. Baseline. Jam. Maceo Jack fouled on his way to the bucket. Can't get the finish. Rye. Skylar White for the three. There it is. And down goes the stat. And that is the ball game. 96-73, the final score between those two teams.
Welcome back to our coverage of the British Basketball League. Daniel Ratledge and Anthony Rowe with you. Big game today in terms of playoff seedings as the Sheffield Sharks taking on the Newcastle Eagles. This is as it stands. So if Sheffield hold on and win, you can see they will move to within a game of the Newcastle Eagles, and they would have the tiebreaker. So all they would have to do is finish level with Newcastle to be above. How this table looks at the end of this game could be vastly different if Newcastle have a good second half, though, and they can turn it around. But if they are to turn it around, one guy they need to keep an eye on, Jalen Pipkins, excellent in that first half.
Yeah, and I think just re-emphasising the position when you see the table like that, this game is so important for the Sheffield Sharks if they can get this done. But Jalen Pipkins was that guy for me, and I think what he did really well at is that he was able to change the pace of this game. His aggressive nature too. He didn't settle for the shots. You see him there attacking that screen, dumps the ball down to his big guy Del Pesh, but he's excellent at just moving well the basketball here, and look at that. That is very few people in the world can do that. He catches the ball, he jumps, because he's so athletic, he has time to think, and then he produces the goods.
Well, he gave them a massive boost off the bench in the first half. 10 points in under 9 minutes of action, and well, they'll be hoping for more of the same in the second half for sure. But what they won't want is a repeat of the start of the game where they got themselves in a hole that needed him to come out and get them out of it.
No, they would not, but I think if they said, would you like it to go exactly how they went in the first, then they would shake your hand off, because they were excellent in the last 15 minutes of that first half.
Well, one of the best teams on the road against one of the best teams at home. And at the minute, it's the home team that's winning this one, 44-38 as we're underway in the third quarter. A little step back from Ramsey. They couldn't buy a three until just before half-time, but Ramsey strokes it at the start of the third.
And Ramsey was the one who had two relatively easy step-in three-point shots. That occasion off the dribble step back, that is a high degree of difficulty shot from Ramsey, but he knocked it down like he's been doing it all game. Look at this jab step, really got Johnson on the back foot, which created space for him to get that shot off. Extends this lead now.
Austin way short on that one. Taj Green trying to force it up before the shot clock buzzer, but he's on the floor and Sheffield are running. Here's Malik Green on the trail. Defoe standing his ground.
Defoe's done so well there, and that's just a prime example of just playing defense with your head.
Oh, McGill trying to thread the needle there, and he nearly did as it went out of bounds. So one thing we haven't mentioned in this frenetic opening minute of the first quarter is that Jordan Johnson back out there for the Newcastle Eagles, having hobbled his way out of the game in the first half, and that's a good sight as far as Newcastle fans are concerned. Does get a foul, though, pretty quick there for a reach in. It'll be his second.
A player like him's irreplaceable, Dan. Very few players that can do what he can do. And of course, point guard position too, such a valuable position for the overall offense. Whether they're scoring the ball or not, they're the ones pulling the strings.
Retino, time running down on the offense, misses everything. Taj Green grabs his 6th rebound of the game.
Look at that.
Yeah, I was about to say that's why he's so important.
It's unbelievable, just the speed he's able to do that. A little bit out of control shot there for Retino. And third foul there from Retino, which he's not been able to settle into the game offensively himself. No points, no shots even from the field for Retino.
Well, he's a big minute player for the Sheffield Sharks, but of the starters, he's had the fewest minutes because of those fouls. And McGill knocks down a triple, his second of the game.
Bad defense there. You left one of the best scorers in the league with all the time in the world to think about that one, and Ricky McGill says thank you very much and knocks it down.
Newcastle kind of needed that one. Still trail by 6. Green gets his hands on that, but just can't quite beat the ball to the line.
Good energy though from Green. He looks to try and deflect that one and save it from going out of bounds.
Pipkins returns after that third foul for Rotino, but probably no bad thing to get him in the game a little earlier than he ordinarily would in the rotation, as Ramsey starting to feel it here in the second half. He's into double figures.
Oh, really good response from him.
Well, it ends up in Taj Green's hands. I'm not sure whether Johnson gets an assist for that or it's a block shot, one or the other.
I'm sure he's not too fussed either way, because Taz Green, his big man, helped him out on that occasion.
Oh, what a pass. Malik Green finding Bennett Cook.
You see Darius DeFoe coming over to help and swiping down. And then the vision from Green to see his teammate open. Wow.
Well, referee says back of the head. Cook called for the foul. Have another look at this. It looks like he's trapped there. You can see no room, and beautiful feed.
Yeah, well, we talk about his scoring ability and rebounding, but look at that. Has a distribution as well and getting that assist.
Closing in on a double-double in the game. 2 points, 1 rebound short. Geordie fans, as they do. The Uta making their selves heard. Johnson makes both from the line.
Ramsey.
Out to Ramsey for 3. A lot of time and space. Cook gets the rebound. Eichel Rock steps into the 3 and he knocks down another one. There's a foul call there. It's gone against Bennett Cook there. He got tangled up, I think, with Taj Green as they were fighting for a rebound, and Cook is going to get called for his 3rd personal foul.
Well, great work from Bennett Cook as well on the offensive glass to get his teammate Eitel Rock a 3-pointer. Those are the easiest ones too, those ones where you get to catch it from under the rim, stepping into that. Eitel Rock knocks down his 2nd 3 of today.
So that's Rotino and Cook, 2 of the starters on the bench on 3 fouls here early in the 3rd. I suppose the one upside is how well the bench played in the first half, so again, getting them in.
Yep.
If they can replicate it, not a bad thing. Ramsey gets it out to Eitel Rock. Eitel Rock spinning, drops it off to Green, another great assist. This time it's RJ Eitel Rock to Green.
Wow, it's like they're pounding the ball inside and then just players moving without the basketball. Timely cut there. Nice pass and finish.
McGill, nice pass from Defoe to Green for the lay-in.
Oh, good look there. You're forward to your center. Okay, good movement without the basketball. Green cuts right to the rim.
Eitel Rock got a long way into that pump fake. Ramsey, oh, he somehow kept it alive, but tried to just quickly feed Delpash, who goes out of bounds.
Coming back in, Prentice Nixon.
56-47 the score. 2 of the starters on the bench in a little bit of foul trouble here in the 3rd quarter. A lot of room. Austin checks his feet. I always think just shoot it and see what it's worth later.
Yeah.
Pipkins is fouled. Green never lets the ball go in. Never, ever lets the ball go in, does he? You throw it up, and even though the whistle's gone, it doesn't count for anything. He's like, no, 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 no. I'm not letting you see the ball go through the net. I love that.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett used to do that all the time. That was his thing. Of course, this is the era now of guys growing up watching guys like Kevin Garnett perfect his trade.
Eitel Rock gets all the way to the basket and finger rolls it in. And stolen away, and Pipkins jams it down. I was about to say Sheffield's lead is in double figures. Well, suddenly it's out to 13, and a timeout is to be called by the Newcastle Eagles. And these are the worst ones. You can see a sloppy pass, and Pipkins says, thank you very much. Another one for the highlight reel.
Yeah, and Larry Austin Jr. knew not to contest that one because Pipkins was already at flight.
So, biggest lead of the contest for either team now. Sheffield up 13. Newcastle, who led by as many as 12 in the first quarter, about this stage in the first quarter, and Sheffield were able to turn it around. Mark Stukel now has to get his team to flip this game on its head.
Well, they need to do something as well, because it's been the Sharks with a better energy. They've been more positive as well. In the shot selection, when you compare the twos, shot selection, Sheffield Sharks have been a little bit more patient, and they've been sharing the basketball. A couple offensive rebounds thrown in the mix as well, and hence why Sharks have got this healthy lead. But Newcastle Eagles going to have to find a way here quickly, or this game could get out of hand.
First game of 2 today in the British Basketball League. We've got the Ant Road Derby at 6 o'clock. Had to have Ants in the house for Plymouth against Leicester. And we're looking forward to that one. But first of all, the Newcastle Eagles have to turn this around. Down 13. Still not really got anything out of their bench unit. Just 3 points out of the bench. Defoe hits his man in the air, wants a foul, doesn't get one. 20-3 in terms of bench scoring. Pipkins strings the three, add another 3 to the Sheffield Sharks bench tally.
Wow, that's big. Out the timeout. Newcastle Eagles doesn't get anything there, and Larry Austin Jr., big one. They needed that one, and Larry Austin Jr. took it straight to the heart of that defense and finished.
Oh, Green gambled on that, and the other Green made him pay. Malik spinning and getting to the rim.
And you don't want to do that against a player as gifted as Malik Green.
Defoe off the mark. Taj Green can't convert. Sheffield running riot here in this third quarter. Oh, Nixon, a little too clever for his own good there. Well, Sheffield well on top here. Can Newcastle find a way back? We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Newcastle being outscored 21 points to 11 here in this quarter. Can Mark Stuttel and his team turn it around? They'll need something spectacular. McGill is certainly capable of delivering that. They could do with it now, though. Here he is going to work. Off the glass, too strong. Body's on the floor. Malik Green wins the battle. He looks second favorite at first, and he bullies his way to the rim. Tipped up, but doesn't go for Pipkins.
Oh, wow, wasted trip there, and that could have been another 2 for Sharks.
It's a good kickball there from Nixon, because that would have been a guaranteed 2 points for the Newcastle Eagles.
Yeah.
Whitfield back to Johnson. Johnson turns the corner.
Johnson under pressure.
Delpesh with another rebound.
Points suddenly very hard to come by. Trending downwards at the minute, Newcastle, in terms of their points per quarter.
They're not allowing any easy baskets, are they, Sheffield?
Oh, that was nice, but he couldn't quite finish. Delpesh, well, just a foot short.
Good defense by Green.
Look at that, good defense transition from Sharks. Nothing easy.
And even that wasn't straightforward for Johnson.
No, they're having to create and work very hard to score the basketball. And remember, this is Sharks team that allow for 79 points per game, so best points against per game record in the league. And if they can figure out a way to consistently score the ball like they have so far in this game, this could be a team trending in the right direction heading into the playoffs.
Well, they've been consistent so far. 22 in the first, 22 in the second, 21 in the third. McGill can't convert. Delpesh able to force it home.
Penetration's good news, though, so far. Both teams, if they can penetrate like that, they've got athletic bigs who can clean up the glass. McGill does a good job there of driving baseline.
Well, suddenly a few stops in a row for Newcastle. McGill back to Whitfield. But he a little flat on that shot.
Yeah, that's as easy as they come as well. It's as good as an open jump shot there for Whitfield. He's not been able to get into any type of rhythm so far in this game.
1 for 8 shooting.
Wow.
Green spinning, that is too nice.
He is so gifted offensively. You see him use his size advantage against Josh Ward-Hibbett. Again, another guy who's been quiet.
Stolen away by Sheffield. Here's Green in transition. He keeps the ball and he lays it in. 16 points for Malik Green.
He is a problem. So difficult to stop because he's in between. So he's like a small forward, in between a guard and a forward. Very versatile, athletic, good skills, good hands.
McGill drops it off to Delpesh, who jams it in. And a timeout is going to be called here by the Sheffield Sharks with a minute to go in the third quarter. They've built themselves a little bit of a cushion, but they don't want to let it slip, but it gives us an opportunity to look back at what this guy can do.
It's really good to watch. See him just the awareness as well of knowing where the ball is, the rim is, and not overstepping, traveling. Just a good, offensively gifted basketball player.
Well, it's always difficult when you join as late in the season as he did. He'd obviously already been playing in the year and used to putting the ball in the basket, but it didn't seem to take him very long to find his role and find his rhythm on this Sheffield squad.
No, and I think sometimes you just need someone to have that sort of carefree mentality, which it seems like he has. He sort of came in here, he's not been concerned about ruffling any feathers, and I think Sharks knew they needed a player like him as well. So credit to Atiba Lions and the Sharks organization, because you know, you look at a structure and you always try and make it work, and more times than not, when you look at Atiba Lions' later season acquisitions, they're really quite right more often than not. They're more correct than they are wrong, and he's certainly got it right with Malik Green.
Well, whatever happens, they seem to be playing well, Sheffield, at the end of the season, whether they go up or down during the regular season. They always seem to get it right by the end. They've been excellent in this building this year, 10-3 coming into this. So we're talking about the importance of getting into the top 4 in that home court in a game 3. If it does go to that, it's best of 3 this year in the playoffs, of course. Well, Sheffield, with their difference between their home record and their away record, if they can get to 4th instead of 5th, that would be great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's all about placing now for the playoffs.
Delpesh at the top of the key knocks it down.
Oh, good shot there from Delpesh.
Interesting, Newcastle, their record, if they were to lose today, would be identical, home and away, both 8 and 7.
Wow.
Ticking it down to the end of the 3rd quarter. Nixon trying to create some room for a shot, and that one is a little bit short, but a very good 3rd quarter from the home team. Sheffield Sharks have the advantage. Can they sustain it through the 4th? Find out after this break. Welcome back to Sheffield, where the Sharks put 27 on the board in that 3rd quarter to open themselves a 14-point cushion. It's going to need to be a big 4th for the Newcastle Eagles if they are somehow to salvage victory from this position. Austin sends his man to the floor. It's out to Ward Hibbett for 3 off the mark. And Sheffield get it back. And one thing we were talking early on about Sheffield in that 3rd quarter with foul trouble and Cook and Rotino having to sit down. They didn't really miss a beat at all, and now going into the 4th, they're not in foul trouble because they could sit them for that long.
It was also kind of like a blessing in disguise that the second unit could play longer. It resulted in a onslaught, 27 points, 1 quarter.
Well, they finished the quarter with all 5 of the starters on the bench. Just Cook here at the start of the 4th in the starting unit out there as far as Sheffield are concerned. But you wouldn't really notice the difference. Ward Hibbett call for holding Bennett Cook.
Well, Sheffield do have to be careful here, though. We saw already in the 3rd quarter it was a little bit of a wobble, and Newcastle Eagles were able to close the gap a little and went on a little run of themselves. But in the same breath, Newcastle Eagles have to create opportunities now to put a little bit more pressure on Sharks.
Well, that is textbook Rodney Glasgow Jr., isn't it? Around the corner, top of the key, couple of feet back from the free throw line, almost always splashes in.
Yeah, he looks so confident in doing it as well, which is good to see.
Austin under pressure, rebound, Glasgow. Offensive foul this time as Bennett Cook. I said they weren't in much foul trouble anymore. They are now because Bennett Cook's just picked up his 4th on that play. So he's just stepped across. It's no sort of screen whatsoever, to be honest with you. McGill. That's it. Spencer, who's not been on court at all today, really. First shot of the game, and he knocks it down.
Oh, encouraging signs here. Maybe Newcastle Eagles have got another source of offense because they haven't got much out of Josh Ward-Hibbert or Whitfield today. Maybe Spencer could be that provider for them.
Pipkins under pressure, misses everything. The Eagles bench, particularly Will Neighbor, screaming for a traveling violation. Nothing doing. McGill gets the switch, but he's picked it up in an awkward spot. Wants it back, but it goes to Austin. Off the glass, and one for Larry Austin Jr.
Unbelievable. Only Larry Austin Jr. He had a wide open three-point shot, didn't want it, attacks Kipper Nichols, rearranged, finishes, is going to get the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Delpesh, Green, Eichelrock, Retino, and Ramsey.
Well, wholesale substitutions for Atiba Lions. Cook sitting down because of foul trouble, but the rest of it is a tactical switch. Austin at the line, trying to convert a three-point play and get it back to only 8, and doing exactly that. Ooh, that wasn't the cleanest inbound, but it salvaged by Ramsey. Ramsey gets to the elbow, little fall away, all string, pushes it back to 10.
Ramsey's had a good game today. He's had some tough shots. 13 points, 6 assists now for him.
McGill with the rearrange. Delpesh saves it, but it deflects all the way back to Spencer. McGill in the corner for 3. And Eichelrock chased out to him just to get in his sight line. Newcastle had made some inroads into the deficit, but Sheffield just trying to see off that charge. Eichelrock, no way through. Delpesh with the denial. Austin hard to the hole, and well, that's going to be foul number 4 on Jordan Retino.
Good push there from Larry Austin Jr. just to force Retino into the contact there. These are the best types of points for Newcastle, just the ones that they can get stops and just push the basketball and do what they like to do, and that's convert on those fast break points.
Well, Retino's really not had a run at it today. Just 11 minutes in the contest because of the foul trouble he's been in. He's only taken 1 shot. He is plus 11 in the game, though, so when he's been on court, they've been better.
That's why Atiba likes to play him so much. Makes very few errors, does those little things well. Oof, goodness me.
That one wiped its feet on the way in for Larry Austin.
It's going to get to that point now where it's win or go home for Newcastle Eagles, because they apply the pressure here, maybe a little bit more full court pressure.
Well, Michael Rock was hoping for a whistle there, didn't come his way. Austin, oh, Delpesh with a great block.
Wow, he's done so well there. Just to get back, all big men have to run back in the paint, protect the paint. He's done that perfectly here.
A little slide to finish as well. Right into the photographers on the baseline there. Make sure you get that shot.
Jurgen Klinsmann celebration.
It was a bit, wasn't it? Here's Ward Hibbett for three. Oh, what a shot. Josh Ward Hibbett with a hand right there.
Blimey, that is difficult. And his release is so high, and just like that, it's a 6-point game. That's a big one.
Michael Rock trying to sneak back door. That's going to be an offensive foul called against Delpesh. And suddenly the momentum with the Newcastle Eagles. And the argument for Marcus Delpesh, he's pointing. That's the problem, he's pointing. And he's at court Ward Hibbett across the body. And he's got a warning for his protestations on the way out. You can understand why he's unhappy with that.
Dan, it's rude to point.
It is rude to point.
And on that occasion, wrong place, wrong time for Delpesh picking up that foul. I mean, more importantly as well, Dan, 5 minutes 34 left. Sheffield Sharks have 4 fouls, so that could easily push them into the bonus. No, next foul will push them into the bonus. So again, it's just an opportunity for Newcastle Eagles to get some points while the clock stopped. Look at this one. Goodness me. 6'10", outstretched green coming at you, but Josh Ward Hibbett, nothing but net.
Well, normally with those ones where you see the trajectory look different to his normal shot, didn't it? It looked higher than his normal shot. You think that's going to fall short because he's had to push it a little higher. But he obviously gave it a little bit more to make sure that it splashed through the bottom of the net. And the Newcastle Eagles making a charge here in the fourth quarter, scoring 12 of the 16 points in this quarter.
Well, we say this, don't we, all the time. Sheffield Sharks do have a drought in them. What's their saviour is that their ability to play defense. But this is a tough Newcastle Eagles team that can score the ball in a number of different ways. This can be a very stressful last 5.5 minutes for all Sheffield Sharks fans here.
Oh, Rotino gets a little hand on it. Couldn't quite deflect it down court to chase after it, but it will go out of bounds. Newcastle possession. Oh, he's not happy with that. McGill into Delpesh.
Doesn't drop.
I think that came off Delpesh's hands, maybe Eichel Rock, but either way, it's a Newcastle ball. Ward Hibbett, a lot of time and space, and he hits another three. 2 in quick succession for Josh Ward Hibbett, and he narrows the gap yet again. It's down to only 3.
Well, we said they needed production off the bench. We didn't know what way it was going to come. And Josh Ward Hibbett now popping up big with 2 huge threes.
Oh, McGill called for the foul there, his third. 4:54 to go. Josh Ward Hibbett shooting his team back in the game. Can Newcastle get back in front? Find out after this break. Welcome back to Sheffield, where Newcastle were in a big hole at the start of this quarter, but Josh Ward-Hibbert with back-to-back threes cap a 15-4 start that has this game right in the balance with 5 to play. Ramsey trying to get it down to Delpesh, spinning past Ward-Hibbert and able to lay it in.
Big play there, and Delpesh was able to take full advantage of that size difference down low. Nice spin, middle, and finish.
Oh, how's that timeout? Reset it for Sheffield, or can Newcastle keep coming? Rotino got a piece of that. Austin on the offensive glass, can't convert. Delpesh is able to clean it up.
Wow, both Delpeshes have been excellent today. You can see the confidence growing as the game gets longer. And Delpesh, big putback to take him to 9 points personal. Malcolm Delpesh.
Ramsey out to Rotino. Lobbed inside to Green. Good pass from Rotino. Could easily have shot that, saw a teammate in a better position.
Goes back to the initial point there. Rotino just making the right play. It's a better shot there for his big man.
Green with some challenge there. Enough to put Delpesh off, who puts his hand up to say, yeah, I should have scored that, coach. Chance for Sheffield to push it back out to 7 or 8. Eichel Rock sees the lane and fills it for 2.
He's just such a good burst of speed there.
Well, that was the perfect response, wasn't it, for Atiba Lions' squad, coming out of that timeout under pressure, having seen their lead whittled down to 3, a couple of big plays, getting to the basket and getting high-quality shots.
Yeah, and Newcastle Eagles responded well as well. Had Delpesh finished that layup as well, the game would be a lot tighter. But now 3 minutes 30, it's going to be Coach Mark Stuttel now looking to create solutions for his team.
This is what they wanted, say Delpesh to the rim.
Yep.
Ramsey again, Rotino down to Green to the rim.
Yep.
And then finally, Eichel Rock turning the corner to the rim. Sheffield all at the basket. They've lived really on the 2s today. They've had the occasional 3, but it's all been about points in the paint. They've got 52 points in the paint today.
Wow. And Bennett Cook hasn't had his best game.
No.
Ordinarily, you would attribute a lot of those points to him. He's got 9 points, but 3 for 9 from the field. But Sharks did an excellent job of just, it's been the movement work, the basketball, I think, has been really good for them as well. Just the cuts and the additional passes, the ball. But ordinarily, when you shoot 5 or less 3-pointers, you're going to struggle to win a basketball game. But here, Sharks are 4 for 13 from the 3-point line, but an abundance of 2-point makes.
Well, if there is a team that's going to win a game on low 3s, it's probably Sheffield. Oh, they've thrown it away. Terrible miscommunication. McGill, did he trip over or something? He seemed not quite to be. Let's have another look. Oh, he's just lost his footing there, and Ramsey doesn't take the risk. It's quickly inbounded to Eichel Rock, who again to the rim. That's all we keep seeing from Sheffield here.
High percentage shots, and you can't help but feel as well the formulation of the Newcastle Eagles, is not working. Jordan Johnson not returned. He's usually a closer for this team. I'm guessing it's injury. Another big shot from Spencer. Came up off the bench, hit a 3, and then pull-up jump shot where things are looking very fragile for Eagles. It's another big play there from Spencer. But Jordan Johnson missing is huge for this Eagles team.
Well, if you weren't with us earlier, Johnson hobbled out in the first half. He did come back in the second to play. So we're assuming it must be injury related, because under 3 minutes in a close game, you'd have him. Slap down. Oh, Rotino will feel he should be going to the line for 1 and not 2 here. He probably should have had a 3-point play. There is Johnson on the bench.
That's a big miss. And sometimes with a point guard as good as him as well, it's not just the points he scores or the assists he brings, it's the calmness in a game where the pressure is going to be relatively high in the closing minutes now of this fourth quarter. And Routinho just doing the little things. Plays like this, Dan, these are winning plays that Jordan Routinho was clocking in now for his team.
Well, those are his first 2 points of the contest, Routinho. Ramsey not quite in a defensive position there, gets called for the foul, and that is his first personal foul, and you mentioned it in the timeout a few minutes ago. They'd got to the bonus early, and it could allow Newcastle an opportunity from the free throw line. The problem is for Newcastle, they've got 9 points down before they've got to the free throw line in this situation.
Yeah, you said it, Dan. It's the quality of shots that Sheffield Sharks have gotten in this second half of the fourth quarter. They've been positive towards the rim. They've attacked the rim. Newcastle Eagles haven't always done that. And you're not putting pressure on the team that's just about to be in the bonus as well in doing that. So the shot selection down the stretch has definitely been in the favour of Sharks here.
It's interesting how much Green has had the ball as the playmaker for the Sharks in this contest.
They trust him to make the right play. And Pipkin's not featuring as well, the guy who massive reason.
Oh, that's lovely from DeVille Ramsey, but Delpish, I think he just got a little, somebody swiped at the ball. Here's Austin pushing hard. Good work from Routinho just to keep going backwards, not slap down at the ball. And we go to the final 2 minutes of this contest, and Sheffield trying to take some air out of the ball here. Let these seconds tick as quickly as possible. Oh, what's he doing? He's just dropped a little shoulder there, Delpesh, for an offensive foul.
Yeah,
didn't need that one.
These are the little plays too. You have to really focus. It's classified as a turnover, and big hit there. Oh, goodness. Lean into that shoulder, and he wasn't stationary too. Good call from referee Ed Ugansky.
Well, he sits down, replaced by Cook, but he's had a real positive impact on this game, Marcus Delpesh. Cook grabs the rebound off the miss, and 100 seconds to play. Sheffield with a 7-point lead. They should be able to see it through from here, as long as they're sensible with it. Green looking to attack here, isn't he? Here he goes, gets into the key. Austin steals it away. Ball is loose, and it was kicked by Green, and I think he just got a little too excited there, Green.
Yeah, well, you said it, Dan. The thing that's going to close this game out now for Sheffield Sharks is just to be sensible with the ball. Good job in that he was able to eat a lot of the clock up, but the end product wasn't there, and could have been worse. Could have been a turnover.
Yeah. It could have been a live ball turnover. It is still a turnover, but yes, at least they're not running the other way. You've got a chance to set their defense up, Sheffield.
Which has been good against this Newcastle Eagles team. And again, without their starting point guard, they're going to have to rely heavily on McGill, who ordinarily finishes those plays.
Technical foul. Ricky McGill said something that I think a large portion of the crowd had heard, because there was quite a few of them up, and he kicked the board rather than saying something. There was a lot of people jumped up as soon as he'd done it. So that's cost them another point. Just the frustration from Ricky McGill. He couldn't score, he wanted a foul, he didn't get it. That's going to be his fourth, I believe. And time running out as far as Newcastle are concerned, but Sheffield looking to continue this excellent home form we've seen this season. Well, the start of the year, they obviously started late in terms of their home games as this building was getting ready to be opened, and you go into a new building and you wonder how long does it take them to get used to the creature comforts of it, but they've been sensational in this building all year.
They have, and I remember the first game that they had in the building too, and the pressure they had on them to win that first one, to christen the first one, but this arena has been very kind to them, and they've been able to carve themselves an advantageous home court advantage.
Well, another win here takes them a little closer to the top four and the chance of having some home advantage in the playoffs. That's off the back of the ring. Remember, playoffs this year, best of 3. And the third game, should it be required, will be at the home venue of the higher seed. So if you get to 4th, you will play game 3 against team number 5 in your own building. And that is what these teams are battling it out for, to get as high a seeding as possible. Far more important now. I mean, obviously in the aggregate system that we used to have, having the second leg at home was a bit of a benefit, but having a decisive game 3 is certainly more of a plus.
Especially if you have a home record like the Sheffield Sharks.
Yeah. Well, we're in the final minute, and Sheffield's lead is double figures. And you've got to say, you take the first 5 minutes out of the ball game, and they've been relatively comfortable. You think they were down 12 after 5 minutes, and they're obviously up 11 now. So since the 5-minute mark of the first quarter, they've won. They've been 23 points better than Newcastle.
Yeah, no, I agreed. And defensively too, there's been nothing easy. Even that last play, an example of how they've really strangled Newcastle Eagles on that end of the floor. Everything has been so difficult. You saw uncharacteristic misses as well from Larry Austin Jr. attacking the rim. Even Ricky McGill, who's someone who's usually finishes effortlessly around the rim. It's been some really tough resistance from Sheffield Sharks, the interior side. On the other end, it's been the opposite. They've really tried to attack Newcastle Eagles and exploit their suspect interior defense.
And they've done it with some aplomb as well. 54 of their 89 points have come in the paint. Oh, McGill ended up on the floor, so just a little perspiration to be mopped up.
It's a 9-point ball game. Your Braun Sheffield Sharks are on top. Let's make some noise for the rest of this ball game, y'all. Come on, let's bring it home.
Quite all been got, so try that again. But for the Newcastle Eagles, well, they'll be hoping they don't see Sheffield in the playoffs, that's for sure, because they played them 4 times this year. They're staring down the barrel of losing 3 of those 4, and the combined aggregate on that will be in the 40s at this rate. Sheffield have seemingly had Newcastle's number.
Yeah, agreed. And I think those are those memories as well you don't want when you're going into a 3-game series with a team. Of course, things change and rosters have changed since the start of the season, but you know, you're only as good as your last game, and when you're coming off that loss, and contrastly too is the team that wins, they just have that confidence knowing that they've got the opposing team's number as well. So yeah, it certainly can play a psychological factor when you're looking into a playoffs.
Well, Sheffield will move back to 500, 15 and 15, level with Leicester. Although they won't end the day level with Leicester, they'll either be behind or above them, because Leicester will play at Plymouth at 6 o'clock. Do join us for that one. And obviously, Leicester went down to Plymouth and lost a few weeks back, so they'll be looking for some revenge there, but obviously short-handed. No Teddy Allen, potentially no Jaron Holmes as well. And Leicester in action in our Sky Sports game next Friday night. They've got to try and come here and do what not too many teams have done this year and beat the Sheffield Sharks, and Sharks will be in good spirits after today's performance.
And I am looking forward to that one on Easter Friday. It's a big one in terms of the formulation now. We're saying about wrestling for these top 4 spots, and Leicester Riders, Sheffield Sharks, certainly the teams in contention for that. Of course, Newcastle, if score stays the same, Newcastle will drop a game here today, which then edges the Sheffield Sharks up to 15 wins, along with Leicester Riders and Newcastle Eagles on 16.
Newcastle will be 16 and 14, Sheffield will be 15 and 15, and Leicester will be 1 game aside of 500, either 16 and 15 or 15 and 16, depending on how they get on in Plymouth later on. And it really looks like probably those three teams fighting out for 4, 5, 6. Maybe they can mount a bit of a charge at Caledonia in third, but the Scottish side certainly have the advantage as it stands with a few games left. Pulled down by Green, and a foul on that one. And it's going to be 2 more free throws, and it doesn't really matter now because the points aren't important because the head-to-head's going to be won on games by Sheffield on this one. So it's more psychological than anything else here.
What a game Malik Green's had as well. Consistently been able to deliver for his team. Over the last 3 games, he's been averaging over 17 points per game. And remember, he's a guy that's comfortable scoring the basketball. He's only a rookie, first professional year, played in top league Luxembourg, start of this year. So we commented some monstrous numbers there. 30 points a game, over 10 rebounds a game, and another big one from here today.
He gave him the big build-up for an 0 for 2 free throws there, and McGill knocks down a 3, up to 18 for him. But Sheffield will just dribble the clock out here. Well, Ramsey's going to heave it up, and Austin has it back. Ramsey still playing defense to the last, and he's knocked it off. Larry Austin, well, what a play that is by DeVoe Ramsey with 12 seconds to go.
Great play, and sometimes when you're the player too, you don't know that the point differential doesn't matter, so you just play like it does. You can see here, DeVoe Ramsey, smart play there.
Well, Sheffield going to dribble it out. An excellent performance from them. They got off to a slow start. They trailed by as many as 12, but once they hit their stride, a Atiba Lions team were excellent in this one, and in the second half they really showed their offensive prowess to put on 47 points and stretch their lead. They've won this one 91 points to 83. And time for your player of the game. Where did you go with this one?
Player of the game for me was honorable mention for Jalen Pipkins, who I thought was excellent during a really pivotal part of the game. He had 15 points, but Malik Green was just that little bit more of a superstar here today. 18 points, 11 rebounds. He had a couple beautiful assists in there as well. MVP of the game.
But as you say, there was some really good performances up and down the roster, and that'll be the thing that pleases Atiba Lions. Yes, they ended up giving up 83, but defensively, I thought they were really good. And offensively, they've come in here in their own building, put 91 on the board.
Well, that's exactly it, Dan. You know, yes, they've conceded 83, but this is a Newcastle Eagles team that ordinarily scored 90 points per game. So they've done their job. They've kept them below their averages. And who needs 3-point shots in modern-day basketball, huh? Just 4 3-pointers made for the Sheffield Sharks, but it didn't matter because their offense, they scored 91, which is well above their averages.
Well, let's have a look at the numbers and confirm what Ant has just said. They're just 4 for 13 from behind the arc, but they were able to pound it inside. You can see they made 9 more 2-pointers than Newcastle did, and they got to the free throw line and were efficient with it. Did a great job on the boards. 12 offensive rebounds, 13 second chance points.
That's exactly it, Dan, and they looked after the basketball too. They had some early turnovers, and they were able to settle the ship there, and you see they finished with 11. They're on trajectory, I think, for having like 16 plus turnovers, but they rectified that, settled themselves, and besides that first 5 minutes of that first quarter, a near perfect game for the Sharks.
Well, they won the last 35 minutes by 20 points, the Sheffield Sharks.
Wow.
So let's have a look at all of the results in the British Basketball League this week. Surrey winning on the road in Manchester on Thursday, but they were beaten in Newcastle on Friday. Caledonia beat a short-handed Leicester comfortably down at the Matiola Arena, and a big win for Cheshire again, really comfortable against the Flyers, winning that one by 23. Sheffield have started the Sunday off with an 8-point win over the Newcastle Eagles, and Ant and I will be back at 6 p.m. for Plymouth against the Leicester Riders. Here is how it stands in the British Basketball League right now. Sheffield and Leicester both on 15 and 15, but that will sort itself out before the end of the night. Newcastle looking worryingly over their shoulders at those teams, having dropped to a 14th defeat. It's very tight in the middle of the pack, and the interesting thing is, whichever of these teams can get their rhythm, can get their momentum, will have that to take into the playoffs, as well as getting themselves a good seeding along the way.
That's exactly it, Dan. We're at a point of the season now where we know who the crown champions are in the line, so everything else now, all the focus is on the playoffs, getting those seedings, and also the psychological advantages over any opponent that you may play in those playoffs.
Well, we'll have another big game for you in about an hour's time. It's the Ant Row Derby, and we've got Ant Row. It's Plymouth against Leicester. Join us at 6 o'clock for that one. But for now, goodbye.